things. So me and Rick, we're going to finally get to talk about the season finale of Westworld, right? It was an hour and a half, which is what we expected to be a longer show. So, Ricky, I'll start with you. What were your thoughts and were your expectations met for the Westworld finale?
That's a very that's a complicated question. Okay, so my expectations were met in the fact that they wrapped up a lot of loose ends, which I was really excited about. And I'll try to talk fast because I know certain members of our team here don't necessarily like Westworld. Shout out to Frank Trier right there.
Speak to Frank.
If you're ever wondering where Tony got his good looks from, if you're on the YouTube video, that's exactly where Tony gets all of his charm from right there. So yes, my expectations were met in the fact they wrapped a lot of things up. I do love the show, so I don't want this to be misconstrued, but I had some major just holes I felt in the finale, which I want to be explained to me, and maybe Matt, you can explain them better than what I could. So number one, the whole Valley Beyond, I guess I don't really understand the physics behind that of why the host couldn't have somehow been uploaded to this from the cradle, and that they needed to physically pass through this fissure in the world to go into this program. It was just very, I guess, sloppily done. I also don't understand the scene when they're trying to get into the Valley Beyond and when Clementine's riding on the horse down, why people aren't shooting her off of this horse. They wait until she's literally right. I've seen these androids shoot and hit a target from a mile away, and they don't just shoot her off the horse before she gets there. They wait until she's right on top of them. I don't really think Maeve had to die either. I thought that was just let's show off her new power. But she probably could have just ran in with her daughter and been fine. So I don't really think that was necessary. I think the Dolores plot was weird as well. She wanted to destroy all the hosts, but they didn't get the Valley Beyond because it was artificial and it was just kind of a castle in the sky type thing. But then Bernard kills her, brings her back, and now she has a change of heart and she wants to upload them. So that part was really strange. I also thought it was strange of why they needed certain, I guess, to use these. I don't know where they sent them. They just send that transmission to space? Did they send it to a satellite? Where did that go? They just show this kind of cheaply animated beam of light go into the sky, and it's oh, they'll never be found again. I don't even know what that means. So overall, I thought it wrapped up a lot of stuff, but it was just man, it was there's a lot of instances even for that show where it was kind of this is a little too far out there, too unbelievable. What do you think, Matt?
I mean, I'll put this out there right now. When I watch Westworld, and I think this is different when I watch different shows, my overall expectation of what I'm about to watch, I don't watch Westworld for deep meaning in my life. I don't look to it to find meaning in humanity. I just want to be viscerally entertained. So speaking on that, I mean, I love the show. I could watch it forever. I think some of the points you make are right. I think the Valley Beyond situation was that it was physically stored at the forge, and in order for it to be opened, Bernard had to physically open it, and it was just a matter of the host accepting to enter it through a digital domain. But I do understand why couldn't that just be in the cradle? But I don't know. Is the fact that they chose to go there, which I thought was interesting. They all made their own conscious choice of, I want to go to this new place, this scary place. And I think when they go there, they physically die. Right? The host bodies die, and their code or their person now goes to wherever the server is located. I assume it could be on the moon. It could be on a satellite. Someplace the humans will never find. I think what I really liked about the show was the forge itself was a library. How it was presented to us, where all of the human people that were there, their brains were converted into some sort of code. And if you notice, Dolores opens a book, and the code looks like it does on that player piano that plays the music. like it's the same sort of thing, which I thought was really interesting. So like they have this entire library of all these codes. I thought that was pretty cool, and how Dolores kind of reads through all of them. I don't know what she was looking for. That was like, what is she in here to find? Like, she's like, I found what I looked for. Like, what the hell were you looking for? We don't know. But I think the Charlotte Dolores thing was pretty cool. Like how here's a naked Charlotte, and she just shoots the real Charlotte like in the head. Like that I didn't see coming for a million years. That was like the big twist, where like Dolores was really in Charlotte's body the whole time. Kind of makes sense how she dealt with Bernard, that she never really gave Bernard like the third degree, like during those future scenes, that she just, because she knew like who she was and what she was doing. I thought that was pretty cool, especially when she finally revealed that she was Dolores and just like assassinated like 8 guys in like 4 seconds. Like that was pretty cool. Like all headshots, she was even looking at them. So like that was cool. Like I really like the characters. I mean, I like the show. It's super serious, which I think to a fault, like will turn people off because of how serious it is. I think there is levity. I think you just have to be able to find levity. Like sometimes the dialogue is like kind of dumb, but I kind of find that funny when they're being like over ponderous or trying to, like anytime Dolores speaks, like half the time I don't know what she's even talking about. But I mean, overall, I think I liked it. I think like a show like this, if I can compare it to Lost, like you're never entirely satisfied with what you see because it always presents more questions than it answers in a way, because like that's the draw of these shows. Like with any sci-fi show, there's always more questions than answers. It like keeps you coming back. And the show is a mystery box. So like if it unveils everything to you, like, and if everything's extremely explained, like there's no reason to come back, because like I said, it's kind of like you're not coming here to see God or anything. You're just coming here to be entertained. So I'd say overall I enjoyed it. Another weird thing about this episode, that there was like a post-credit scene with William like walking into the forge and then meeting his, who he thought was dead daughter, Emily. Ricky, what do you think of that post-credit scene?
I thought it was interesting. My first thought, so I guess I wasn't quite sure, because basically the regular show wraps up and you have Dolores and Bernard in the real world, which Dolores is like back. That's another, okay, real quick to touch on it, because I agree with your points of like, I don't watch Westworld for it. Like, I understand Westworld is like a sci-fi show, obviously, but I think the one thing I thought about Westworld this whole time was they did a very good job of making it to be like believable sci-fi, like versus like, you know, you watch some and you're like sci-fi shows and you're just like, that would never happen, right? Versus Westworld, like, okay, I can see a point 100, 200 years from now where this stuff could like maybe actually be done. But I don't understand like how they just kind of glossed over like how Dolores got her old body back, like, and they had this like old, like seemingly antiquated one machine that was like gonna digitally print like, you know, Dolores and all these other hosts that they wanted to make. So that was like the final scene. So I had that, and then I saw the William and Emily scene, and then I started thinking, well, is this and I don't know like what famous television, is that like Dallas, or there was some famous television show where like the whole series is a dream or something like that, and like the final episode you like find out that it's just like, you know,
Elsewhere? Was that what that was?
Maybe
Yeah,
maybe that's what that was.
Yeah.
Okay. So at first I'm like, is this whole thing just been a computer simulation of them trying to like test fidelity in William, and like none of this has ever happened? But then I was like, that doesn't really make sense with how Bernard and Dolores are in the real world now, and how does that all fit in? So I was glad that the showrunners kind of came out and added some clarity to that point after the fact. But I was surprised. I wasn't really expecting to see that post-credit scene.
No, because there hadn't been one all season, and like you don't know to stick for it. I mean, if it's like, I don't know, I'm weird. If it's like a season finale of an episode, I like to watch all the credits, and like it comes up. And like you said, the creator, Lisa Joy, came out and said that scene takes place in the future, far beyond that of which season 3 will take place. So that's really weird. So I think in that we could say, well, in that scene, William is a host, but that still doesn't answer the question whether he's a host in the park or not of what we saw.
Right.
So
and I was expecting them to find an Infinity Stone in that scene, which I still haven't found it. I've looked for it. The other thing with William, though, and maybe again, this is a show just trying to be a mystery box, and I don't like it when they force it to be a mystery box. But like, why would you like stop digging in your arm? Like he's there, like he's like ready to find out the truth, and then Dolores rides up, and he's just like, "Oh hey, Dolores," and Dolores is like, "Oh hey, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Nothing," and then he just like stops looking, and it's just like, "No, we're not gonna tell you if he's a host or not." It's like, why, dude? You like dig one more inch. You were there, like to show us.
Just cut the arm off. All right, so real quick, let's wrap this up. We don't know what next season's going to be about. The TV show's already outpaced the books. Not that the book had really anything to do with the plot of season 1 or anything. Ricky, what are your expectations for next season? Let's just say, what do you want to see next season?
I want to see the show kind of expand beyond the park, show us how this is going to work in the real. I would like to know more about the Westworld universe. So like, what's this foreign land that they're on? Some people have even like hypothesized that they're not even on Earth, like they're on some other planet or on like what year is it? What's technology look like? What do people like? All we've seen is kind of flashbacks and little bits here and there, but I want them to expand on this Westworld universe, show us, are people just driving around like you and I do today? Is everything these like hover cars, like some sort of, futuristic sci-fi experience? I don't know. I would like for them to explore that a little bit more and give us some more context.
I would definitely agree with you. I think if I compare this to another show like The Handmaid's Tale, which I watch, one of my biggest gripes with that show is that I really want to know what's going on in the world besides female suffering, which you get 99% of the time on that show. I want to know, what is Gilead? So in season 3 of Westworld, I want to know, where are they at? I want to see these hosts among people. Why are people paying all this money to go to Westworld? So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. So that wraps up our conversation about season 2 of Westworld.